Hi, this is Finance and Investing Just Joey style, and I'm going to show you my account right here. So I got a couple screens up, so I might be looking in a couple different directions for a minute. But this is my educational account. I'm going to show you the trade that I'm in. I have the all-time here. It looks like the market's red right now. Pre-market's been kind of coming down. I'll go over some chart things with you guys. I'll go over the trade that I'm doing. Look at my crypto account and talk about state of the market for, I don't know, a quick minute. So I only got a couple minutes to look at some things, but I'll always start off like this, or I'll try to. My account was about 90 some $1,000 at its peak at one point, and then right through here, as you can see, I lost an absurd amount of money. This is education. This was leverage, margin, options, being wrong on the direction, being wrong on timing, and being stubborn. So this is all the things that people generally do in the markets where they want to make a bunch of money instead of actually investing or figuring out how to trade properly. I'm not a good trader. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm mostly good at investing. So, but the trades that I do are going to be longer dated. So they're going to be longer swing trades or long dated options or selling options. That's what I do mostly. So swing trades, not really day trades. I day trade a little bit, but it's more difficult. I don't recommend it to most people. Swing trade is good, but investing is so much simpler, and that's pretty easy. So here's my account real quick. It's going to be MSTR, HIMS, and BMNR. These two, SoundHound and XRP, are trades. Even though SoundHound is really shaping up to be one heck of a long-term company, I think it's a good one. You have my blessing to do long-term shares on it. But my account is going to be three stocks. It's going to be MSTR, HIMS, and BMNR. And right now I have a $7 a day drip going on MSTR and a $2 a day drip going into BMNR. And I want to stack as many shares of those as I possibly can. So as you can see, I have 101.38 and 305.69. I do plan on putting a drip into HIMS as soon as I figure out where that money is going to come from. So, because right now I'm fairly maxed out on the amount of money that I put into the market between crypto and investing. Because I know $7 a day doesn't sound like a lot, but that turns into $140 a month, and $2 a day is $40 a month. So it's almost $180 a month. Actually, it's closer to $200 a month coming out here. Anyhow, so let's talk about my trade right now, my trade idea. State of the market. I'm big into crypto. I think crypto is going to take over the world. I think it's going to change the traditional financial system. Right now, Clarity Act is in a bad spot. It only has like 2-3 weeks left to really get some major things done with it. From what I understand, there's two major issues on it, but the time frame with how Congress works, there's a recess, I believe, after the 21st of May. If major things haven't been put into place by the 21st of May for the Clarity Act, there's a very, 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 very high chance that it will not pass. Like we're talking 99% chance that it won't pass before the midterm elections. So I actually think that's what's going to happen now. But we could get a surprise. And if that happens, crypto is going to rip. Now, I personally don't want it to go up yet. I would like the Clarity Act to not pass right now and pass later in the year after the midterms or earlier next year. That's when I think it's going to actually happen because I want to stack more and more. And I'll show you my crypto account in a minute. But we'll talk about, and I guess since we're on the topic of crypto, I'll just pull it over now. There we go. So here's my crypto account, basically $22,000. XRP full position is 3,000. I still would like to get to a tenth of a Bitcoin in here. Obviously, I have as much Bitcoin as I can, but I actually took out my Bitcoin allocations. I put those to MSTR because I think there's more growth to MSTR. No, I know there's more growth to MSTR than Bitcoin, and I'm okay with the volatility. Hedera is one of those projects that I think is that's a big sleeper that I think is very, very good and should do well in the long term. I think this will get up to a couple of dollars, but I think it's going to take a couple of years to get there. I want to get to at least 50,000. As you can see, I need about 10,000 more. It's under 9 cents. I currently have a $6 a day drip going in on it. Yeah, I don't have anything dripping into XRP right now, but like I said, 3,000 is my uh, my full position. So anything above my full position is tradable. So I have over 1,400 tradable shares. I think we might be coming down a little bit more, and if Clarity doesn't go through, we could drop down close to $1. But I think $1 ish is going to be our floor on XRP. And here's the other thing, real quick, about Clarity. Even if Clarity doesn't pass, we have a lot of extremely good things going for crypto right now. A lot of really good things going for crypto. We got the SEC chairman, Paul Atkins. He's an absolute incredible person. We got the CFTC that's pro crypto, and they're working together. I mean, Paul Atkins is a 180-degree change from what Gary Gensler was. So even if Clarity doesn't pass, those two entities are going to be working together, getting more individual clarity for crypto. But we need it signed into law so that it can't just be changed when, regime changes. Okay. Um, like different legislation and midterm elections. We don't want that to change. So we want something actually put into law, because laws are harder to change instead of like executive orders or just the new SEC chairman. So, but I think there'll be a slight tank off in crypto at first, and then it'll mostly be on the rise. I'm a long term guy, so this is a long term portfolio. I don't trade a ton. Um, Stellar Lumens, I have my full position. I'd actually like to get to 10,000. So, I mean, they're 16 cents a piece, another 1,000 of them. It's like $160. So I'll see if I want to get the extra 1,000 or not. Um, let's see here. BitTensor, absolutely love this project. I've got a $4 a day drip going on it. I'd like to get to at least 10 of these. So I'm about a third of the way to my position right now. Chainlink, I want to get to 250. I got a $2 a day drip going on it. SUI, I want to get to 1,000 of these. I have $1 a day drip going in on it. Once I get to 1,000, I will take my drip off of this, and I'll probably put it to Hedera because I want to get that project first. Cardano 2,000. I still have $1 a day drip on it because I just like Cardano. I actually should put something on XRP because I really like it too. And stacking at these levels is great, but I'm stacking other things. So this is just how you manage your portfolio. You just kind of got to decide what's more important to you at the time. 2,000 is my full position. So anything over 2,000 is going to be tradable, but I like this project. So I might just change that to a different number later on. Solana, I'd love to get to 100 Solana, but right now the goal is 10. I've got $1 a day drip going on it. I really like the Solana network. I think it's going to do well for gaming and Web3. So 10 minimum is what I want to have, but I would like to really get a lot more Solana. Ondo, I have my full position at 2,000, and then I have $1 a week drip going on it. I just left it there. So it's only costing me a couple bucks a month, so whatever. Ethereum, I actually have most of my Ethereum into BMNR because I think BMNR is going to do well, and that's in my stocks. WorldCoin, I'm at my full position there. That might change later on, but I've heard some really good things about this this project. Algo, this one I think is privacy. This is my biggest risk play, so we'll see how it goes. And then these three are just I made a couple of small trades and put a couple dollars in them, and we'll see if they do anything. So that's my crypto account, and I'm just building, 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 and I plan on stacking for quite some time. So let's get this out of here. Go back to the stock account. Market's open now. I don't really care about market open. I'm just going to show you my SOUN trade, and I bought another 100 shares this morning I'll show you my history of SOUN. I think it was 791. Sometimes this doesn't update. immediately. Give me 1 second for this to load. You should see 100 share buy, and then I sold a covered call. Yeah, bought another 100 shares at 791. I was just online and decided, hey, it's under $8. I like it, and I had some cash. So, well, I don't have cash. I have margin. I'll explain that in a second. $19. I sold a covered call at the $10 strike for next Friday. So what I did is this contract states that I will sell 100 shares of stock at $10 per share if it's at $10 or above by next week. And I got paid $19 for the contract to do that. So it's only a 10-day contract, 10, 11-day contract. And I'm making $20 on $800. That's 2.5%. So that's a guaranteed 2.5%. And I don't care if I sell my shares at 10 because that's a 25% gain from $8 to 10. So that's what I've been doing with these shares. I've been selling covered calls at 10. And that one was for this week. I rolled these ones because I had them for this week and I rolled them to next week and got a credit of $36. I sold my Palantir position, even though I really, really like the company. I'm focusing on these 3 companies, and then I put this into the SOUN trade because I want to get off of margin in this account. So, and I think SOUN is probably my best bet to do that. So let's go back to the main screen, and yeah, I will show you. Let's see here. This one should expire this week. I don't think we're going to get to $10 this week. And then I'll sell another $10 for next week when that expires. But yeah, I'm going to mostly be paying about 2 weeks out, $10 calls, getting decent premium, 2.5% for 2 weeks. That's really good. So if you were able to do that every 2 weeks for the rest of the year, you'd get like a 50% return on your stuff. So that's really good. My bread and butter is selling options. I also have 2 puts right now. So I'll click on this, and what this states is that I think SOUN is actually below $8 right now. That's right around it. Anyhow, so what a selling put means is I'm going to sell. I sold 2 puts at $8. So that means I'll buy 200 shares or 100 shares per contract. I have 2 contracts open. I'll buy 100 shares per contract at $8 for SOUN if it is at $8 or below by this Friday on my expiration date. Where's my expiration date at? Right here, 5/1. So if SOUN is at $8 or below, I will buy 100 shares per contract. And I got paid $33 a contract to do this. So this is a week. So I put up $800 in collateral, got paid $33. That's it's over a 4% trade. $32 would be a 4% trade. So that's a 4% guaranteed trade in a week. And that's what I'm doing. So it doesn't matter to me if SOUN goes up, down, or sideways. I'm okay buying shares of SOUN at $8 and adding to my stack. That's what a put is. So that's what selling a put is. Selling options is so much better than buying options for consistency. So all I got to do is wait a couple more days. See, I'll make this money no matter what because I don't care. I'm going to let this contract go out. If I buy shares, great. If I don't buy shares, then I'll just collect the $66 and be happy that I made an extra. That's about what I make. It's about a third of a day's wage. So, hey, that's awesome. A third of a day's wage. If I do that over 3 weeks' time, that's a whole day of work that I can take off because I'm making a day's wage. And that's just from $1,600. So imagine if you had a lot of money to do trades like this, like 16,000 or 100,000 or something like that. So over time, we're going to be able to build these accounts up and we're going to be able to make income from stuff. And instead of, well, I'm currently at work, I'm on a little bit of a break. So, yeah, so we don't have to go to work and do all this crap. We can, generate money from our ownership and wealth. And that's what I'm going to show you guys over time. So, Oh, SoundHound. I have 718 shares of it. I should probably have about, I think it's less than $9 average on it. Yep, 8.99. Had a little bit of a spike there at the beginning and then dropped off. So yeah, seven. I'm hoping to have those 900 shares by the end of the week. We'll see if it stays at eight or under. Currently, we're now. I'll switch you over to the chart real quick. This is the SoundHound chart. This is a trading chart. Starting to learn different things, and you might get a little confused because there's a lot of there's a lot of information on here. There's a lot of lines. There's a lot of stuff. So, and that's okay. So, what I want to point out is right here. This is something very interesting. So, this is MACD. This is convergence and divergence. So, right now, the MACD strength is going up, 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 up. We actually got above the zero line, which is usually pretty bullish. Like right here, when we got above the zero line here, even though we came down a little bit, we went on this run. So we have a potential for SoundHound to be moving upward. We got a death cross here. This is fairly bullish pattern. The 5 crossed the 50. That's this blue line. And this is the 13-day moving average. If it crosses above the 50, that's a very bullish sign. So right now I'm selling those short-term contracts because I'm okay getting out at $10. That's my first level. So right here is basically a resistance level. Old support. It wasn't the best support, but it was old support right here. That was actually pretty solid support, and that got broke. But so that's where I'm selling first. I think we're going to get there, and then we might consolidate in that range. I don't know if we'll explode or not, and then I'll maybe sell puts to get back in, or I'll determine to try and get out between 12 and 13 because that's my next zone. Is between 10 and $13. Sorry, 10 and $13 is my next zone, as you can see right here. There's the $10 mark. I'll put a line here for you. Right here. It's not exactly perfect, but that's where I would see another zone. So between $10 to $13, and then I also really like this thing between 13 and 16. I think those are the next levels. So that's where I would get out of this trade, is between 10 and 13 and 13 and 16. So if you don't want to do options, you don't have to. You can just set limit orders and sell them at certain prices. I would recommend putting them good till canceled. Now remember, this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. And if you want to sue me because you did something in your own account and it didn't work out, then you're just not being accountable for your own choices. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I'm just showing you what looks good. But I could be wrong because it's the market. They're called predictive markets for a reason. We don't know what's going to happen. But we have some clues that help us. So this actually looks pretty bullish right now. I'd love to see it get to the 200-day moving average, and I'm hoping to make some pretty good money selling covered calls on this while I wait to get out of the stock. Then let's go back here. I'll take you back to the home screen, and I'll show you what's going on with my margin. So this account, I'm trying to get off the margin. And now I'm getting a little bit more on margin to get off the margin because I really like the SoundHound trade. So I've got about $13,000 in margin right now, but I have 700 shares of SoundHound. So if I'm able to sell 700 shares of SoundHound at $10, that's $7,000. So that'll take my margin down to about 6K, which would be great because it's been floating around 9 or 10. If I can get out a little bit more, I can almost get rid of my entire margin. So that's why I'm picking up more shares. And I got to be a little careful right now because if MSTR could come down, let's look at the chart on that because my account is held up by volatile stocks. So being on margin I don't recommend it to anybody because it's not necessary. And this is one of the reasons this account got blown up. So this is one of those things for the education that you shouldn't do because you don't need to. Or if you do, very, very, very small amounts. And I highly recommend that you have a lot of experience in the market before you even get on it. A lot of it, like years and years. So or you have extreme discipline, one of the two. Um, so yeah, just don't get on margin. It's not worth it, especially if you make a mistake. Plus, it's very short term. So if there's a downward spike, like I'll show you on this chart, like right here, if you were on margin here when this thing was at $9 and it looked like it was maybe going to do something well, and then it tanked off to $6. Oh my gosh, that's a 33% move downward in a month on this company. So if you were on margin here and then you were still on margin here, you probably would have got a margin call. And then literally 2 days later, this was back above 7. So that's why margin is terrible, because the short term volatility can destroy your account. And that's stupid, because volatility isn't risk to the company, it's only temporary risk to your short term profits. But when you borrow money on margin, that's what that is. And the company that you borrowed it from has to protect their bottom line so they can sell your stuff without your permission. That's what margin is, because you borrow the money. So that's no good. So be careful with margin. Now, my stocks that are propping up my account, MSTR, HIMS, and BMNR, they are volatile. They're very volatile companies. I mean, geez, just a couple weeks ago, HIMS was down at $14 a share. And I do have a free community where you can talk to me and ask me questions and stuff like that. I'm working on a quick start guide. It's going to be a one-time payment for the quick start guide. And I highly recommend for people that don't want to do anything. So I appeal to the people, not that don't want to do anything, that people that don't want to look at charts, that don't want to deep dive companies, the people that don't find this stuff interesting, but they want to take advantage of the market. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Sorry. They don't want to take advantage, but they want to take advantage of gaining their wealth. So I have a quick start guide to help people budget, get their short-term financial stuff together, where you get emergency fund, where you get a month of expenses set, manageable debt, and a working plan. That's what a budget is, or a spending plan, whatever you want to call it, same thing. And then once you get your short-term stuff together, you can invest, because you need to invest from stability. You don't need to invest when you need money. It's a bad idea. So just that real quick. So if you want to join that, I'll put the link in the description and probably put it in the top pinned comment. Anyhow, so my companies that are propping this account up are very volatile. So that's even worse for being on margin, because if one of your companies drops off, you can get into a margin call pretty quick. But right now, my margin buffer is still pretty high. Come on. If it ever loads. Yeah, it's 41%. So I got a little ways to go. But if MSTR decides that it wants to fall, that's my biggest holding in this account. So if that wants to fall, which it kind of is, and it looks a smidge short-term bearish, it's starting to curl the 5 and 13, small curl here, but we're coming off of overbought. The chart still looks pretty good. MACD's been doing well. So I'm not expecting this thing to fall too much, maybe back to 150. Yeah, and I currently have a covered call on that. It's going to be a while before I get out of it. It's good till October. We had that spike up. It was a bad time to sell it, but I'm selling that as monthly income instead of timing. So I don't plan on selling my MSTR shares, so that's a different kind of trade that I'll have to explain to you if you get into my community. But yeah, I'm really looking for this SOUN trade. And look, SOUN's bouncing all over the place. We were literally under $8, and now we're already at almost 8.10. So, but that's what I'm doing in my account right now. And I'm happy to have you guys here on the journey with me. And I'll see you next time. This is Finance and Investing, just Joey style.